The complex dynamics of the British royal family have captured public attention once again as a highly anticipated transatlantic journey faces unexpected complications behind the scenes. For months, royal observers and commentators have speculated about the potential return of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to British soil, a move that many believed could mark a significant turning point in the ongoing estrangement between the two branches of the Windsor dynasty. The upcoming trip was intended to serve a dual purpose, combining official philanthropic commitments with a rare opportunity for a private family gathering. However, as the scheduled departure date approaches, a series of behind-the-scenes disputes and bureaucratic delays have cast a deep shadow over the entire itinerary, threatening to disrupt what was supposed to be a carefully coordinated public relations event. The central point of contention involves a critical dispute over safety protocols and official administrative assessments, leaving the final guest list entirely uncertain and causing a wave of anxiety within the palace walls. If you want to stay informed on the latest developments regarding this unfolding royal narrative and receive detailed breakdowns of internal palace dynamics, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. The tension surrounding this visit highlights the deep-seated friction that has characterized relations between the California-based royals and the institutional apparatus in London since their historic departure several years ago. While the public focus often rests on the personal animosity between the brothers, the current crisis stems from a rigid administrative standstill involving official advisory committees and state-level threat assessments. Insiders suggest that the Duke of Sussex feels increasingly isolated in his quest to ensure the safety of his immediate family when traveling outside the United States, arguing that the formal mechanisms designed to evaluate potential threats have been deliberately or carelessly paused. This logistical gridlock has created an atmosphere of profound uncertainty, leaving both palace officials and international media outlets scrambling to discern whether the upcoming trip will serve as a platform for reconciliation or merely deepen the existing divide. The narrative began to shift dramatically when sources close to the situation revealed that a crucial meeting of the Specialized Risk Management Board, which was officially scheduled to take place earlier this spring, was unexpectedly and inexplicably postponed. This specific administrative body is responsible for conducting comprehensive, data-driven evaluations of the unique threats faced by high-profile individuals, providing the foundational framework upon which comprehensive security plans are built. Without an updated assessment from this board, the Duke's private security team has expressed serious reservations about the wisdom of bringing his young children into an environment where official threat levels remain ambiguous. The sudden halt in the administrative process has raised eyebrows among seasoned royal commentators, many of whom question whether the delay was the result of standard bureaucratic inertia or a more deliberate institutional decision to limit the state-funded resources allocated to the self-exiled couple. As the public eagerly awaits official confirmation, the narrative has evolved into a high-stakes standoff involving complex logistics, personal pride, and the safety of two young royal children who have spent the vast majority of their lives away from their ancestral home. The emotional weight of this administrative dispute is magnified by the long-standing desires of the family patriarch, who has reportedly expressed immense eagerness at the prospect of spending quality time with his youngest grandchildren. The aging monarch has made no secret of his wish to foster a closer relationship with the children, whose physical absence from the United Kingdom has been a source of quiet sorrow within the royal household. Behind the scenes, the Princess of Wales has also emerged as an unexpected advocate for family unity, quietly working to persuade her husband to put aside past grievances and embrace the opportunity for a family reunion. Her efforts reflect a broader desire within certain factions of the family to heal the deep fractures that have defined the public perception of the monarchy in recent years. Yet, despite these internal pleas for harmony, the rigid realities of official protocols and the unresolved disputes over protective measures continue to block the path forward. The stakes could not be higher for all parties involved, as the success or failure of this upcoming visit will likely set the tone for royal relations for years to come. If the administrative gridlock cannot be resolved in time, the Duke may be forced to undertake the long journey across the Atlantic entirely alone, leaving his family behind in California and dealing a significant blow to those who hoped this trip would mark the beginning of a new chapter of familial peace. The contrast between the hopeful expectations of the family patriarch and the cold reality of administrative barriers underscores the complex nature of modern royal life, where personal relationships are perpetually intertwined with institutional rules and public scrutiny. As the days tick down toward the scheduled arrival, the behind-the-scenes maneuvering has reached a fever pitch, with representatives from both sides engaging in intense discussions to find a viable compromise that satisfies both safety concerns and institutional precedents. The world watches with bated breath as the drama unfolds, waiting to see where the power of familial affection will ultimately triumph over the rigid constraints of official protocol, or if the deep-seated divisions within the House of Windsor will once again prevent a long-awaited reunion. The logistical deadlock surrounding the upcoming visit has exposed deep fractures within the institutional framework that governs the public and private lives of the British royal family. At the heart of the current crisis is the sudden and unexplained halt of the Risk Management Board, a specialized administrative body tasked with evaluating potential dangers and formulating protective protocols for high-profile figures. Sources close to the situation indicate that this critical assessment was officially scheduled to take place months ago, yet it was inexplicably parked by official coordinators, leaving the Duke of Sussex and his private security team in an incredibly difficult position. Without an updated, comprehensive evaluation from this official board, the private team lacks the necessary state-level intelligence data to build a secure environment for the Duchess and their two young children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. The lack of an up-to-date assessment means that any travel plans carry an inherent element of unpredictable risk, which the Duke's advisors are highly reluctant to accept given the intense public scrutiny and past security incidents. This administrative stagnation has effectively forced a choice between traveling without adequate structural support or cancelling the family's participation entirely, creating an intense atmosphere of frustration and tension behind the palace walls. The complexity of the situation is further heightened by the fact that the Duke of Sussex routinely travels with a highly trained personal security detail consisting of one or two trusted specialists who manage his immediate surroundings. However, private security personnel do not possess the same legal authority, intelligence access, or operational capabilities as state-funded protection units within the United Kingdom, making cooperation with local authorities absolutely essential for any extended family visit. The apparent reluctance of the official board to finalize the safety framework has led to intense speculation among royal observers regarding the underlying motives behind the bureaucratic delay. Some insiders suggest that the institutional hesitation reflects a broader policy designed to draw a clear line between working royals and those who have stepped away from official duties, while others view it as an unfortunate consequence of administrative inertia during a period of significant transition within the monarchy. Regardless of the intent, the practical outcome is a high-stakes, logistical stalemate that threatens to derail a visit that many hoped would serve as a catalyst for long-term reconciliation. The contrast between the rigid official protocols and the deeply personal desires of individual family members has created a volatile emotional landscape within the royal household. King Charles has reportedly expressed immense excitement and optimism regarding the potential arrival of his youngest grandchildren, viewing the visit as a precious opportunity to strengthen familial bonds that have been severely strained by distance and public controversy. The family patriarch remains deeply committed to the idea of a unified family, hoping that the presence of the young children might serve as a natural bridge to heal the prolonged estrangement between his two sons. In addition to the monarch's hopeful stance, the Princess of Wales has quietly emerged as a key mediator behind the scenes, actively encouraging her husband to embrace the opportunity for a peaceful dialogue. Recognizing the profound symbolic importance of the moment, she has sought to foster an environment of openness, hoping to arrange a private meeting that could include the children and allow the extended family to reconnect away from the glare of media cameras. Despite these sincere efforts to facilitate a harmonious reunion, the Prince of Wales remains deeply cautious, maintaining a firm stance that any potential meeting must occur entirely on his own terms and only when he feels genuinely prepared to engage. The legacy of past grievances, public disclosures, and mutual distrust continues to exert a powerful influence over the brothers' relationship, making even the simplest logistical arrangements a source of intense negotiation and anxiety. The last time the two brothers stood side by side was during the somber state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, an event characterized by strict public decorum but marked by an underlying sense of profound personal distance. Since that time, communication between the two households has remained minimal and highly formalized, with both sides fiercely protecting their privacy and public narratives. The current dispute over safety measures has effectively brought these underlying tensions back to the surface, transforming a logistical debate into a symbolic battleground over status, recognition, and trust. While representatives for the Sussexes and the palace have declined to provide official on-the-record comments regarding the status of the trip, the continuous stream of reports from well-placed sources underscores the urgency of the ongoing discussions. The global public continues to follow every minor development with intense fascination, aware that the choices made in the coming days will have lasting implications for the future structure and public perception of the modern monarchy. The sheer volume of conflicting reports reflects the fluid nature of the situation, where decisions are being constantly re-evaluated in response to shifting administrative updates and personal dynamics. As the clock ticks down toward the scheduled departure date, the pressure on the decision-makers in London and California continues to mount, with both sides fully aware that the outcome of this standoff will be analyzed by millions around the world. The delicate balance between institutional duty and personal safety remains unresolved, leaving the final composition of the traveling party hanging in the balance and ensuring that the upcoming days will be filled with intense anticipation and dramatic developments. The unfolding security crisis has reached a definitive turning point as official representatives have confirmed that the Duchess of Sussex and her two young children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, will not be accompanying the Duke of Sussex to London for his upcoming engagements. This official announcement marks a dramatic culmination of the intense behind-the-scenes negotiations and bureaucratic gridlock that have dominated royal headlines for weeks, solidifying the reality that the family will remain divided across the Atlantic during this critical period. The decision to cancel the family's travel plans to the capital city stems directly from the formal denial of their request for taxpayer-funded police protection. A ruling that left the Duke's private security team with no choice but to advise against the journey due to the unresolved safety variables outside the boundaries of royal estates. While the London portion of the itinerary will now be undertaken by the Duke entirely alone, representatives have notably refused to rule out the possibility of the family travelling elsewhere within the United Kingdom at a later date, particularly to the city of Birmingham, where the specific nature of the regional security infrastructure might offer a more manageable framework for private protection. The primary purpose of this highly publicized visit centers around the official promotional events for the upcoming Invictus Games, an international adaptive sporting competition for wounded, injured, and sick military veterans that the Duke famously founded in 2014 and which is scheduled to be hosted by the city of Birmingham next year. The event represents an immensely significant milestone for the Duke's charitable legacy, and his presence is deemed essential to launch the official one-year countdown. Drawing global attention to the resilience of the international veteran community and the specialized rehabilitation pathways supported by the organization. The deep irony of the situation lies in the fact that an event entirely dedicated to honoring service, courage, and international unity is being overshadowed by a complex domestic legal dispute over security designations and the lingering fractures within the House of Windsor. The historical context of this estrangement traces back to the monumental events of 2020, when the Duke and Duchess made the historic decision to step away from their roles as working members of the royal family, seeking personal autonomy and financial independence in California. A move that initiated a profound structural and emotional rift between the two brothers. The subsequent years have seen the gap widen through a series of public disclosures, high-profile interviews, and legal battles, creating an environment where even a straightforward charitable trip becomes a catalyst for intense public scrutiny and complex institutional negotiations. The cancellation of the family's visit represents a profound disappointment for the family patriarch, who had openly expressed genuine optimism and excitement at the prospect of a physical reunion with his youngest grandchildren, whom he has not seen in person since the historic celebrations of 2022. The monarch's long-standing desire to repair the fractured bonds within his immediate family remains a powerful driving force behind the scenes. Yet, the institutional mechanisms of the state and the rigid boundaries of royal protocol have once again created an insurmountable barrier to personal reconciliation. Similarly, the Princess of Wales's hopeful efforts to encourage a meeting between the brothers have been put on indefinite hold, as the Prince of Wales remains steadfast in his position that any potential reconciliation must occur only when the foundational elements of trust and mutual respect have been fully restored. The complex intersection of public duty, personal safety, and deeply rooted familial grievances ensures that the road to peace remains long and uncertain, leaving the global audience to wonder if the House of Windsor will ever truly find a way to bridge the immense distance that now separates its members. As the Duke of Sussex prepares to fulfill his commitments in London and Birmingham alone, the international media attention will undoubtedly remain fixed on his every movement. Analyzing the subtle nuances of his interactions and looking for any hidden signals that might hint at the future trajectory of this ongoing royal drama. The resilience of the Invictus Games itself stands as a testament to the Duke's enduring commitment to public service, proving that despite the intense personal challenges and logistical barriers that complicate his relationship with his homeland, his dedication to supporting the global veteran community remains entirely unwavering. The coming days will provide a clear indication of how the modern monarchy intends to navigate these complex personal dynamics in the public eye, setting a definitive precedent for how family ties and official protocols will be balanced in the chapters yet to be written.